Hello, YouTube. So today we're gonna talk about family. And so gather around because this family discussion is gonna start with a story. Um, and we're gonna go from there. So when I was about 12 years old, I remember this was shortly after I'd gotten into my Harry Potter phase. And I remember getting into a fight with my mom about the idea that your family is your family and that, like, blood is thicker than water. And that I was super upset and super frustrated by this because, like, what about people like Harry Potter? And I think that that was one of the most important lessons that I learned from the Harry Potter series, was that you can sort of choose your family. And so I'm sitting here as a 12-year-old in the car, exasperated beyond all belief, because I just want to hang out with my friends and I want to share my experiences with them because I felt like they understood me much better than my parents or my siblings did, because they had read the same book as me and they knew that Harry picked his family, and I wanted to pick my family too. Now, 12-year-old me kind of had a really brilliant moment, but didn't do a very good job of expressing it. And so, as my life progressed, this idea of being able to choose your family and being able to sort of understand it is something that I've always grappled with, because whenever my family would talk about things, it would be, oh, well, family is the most important thing, blood is thicker than water, and whatever. And I could never really agree with that. And as it turns out, the phrase, blood is thicker than water, is actually a bastardization of an older phrase that was something along the lines of, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the waters of the womb. And that actually makes way more sense than saying that friends are water, because they're fickle and they're not always there for you. So I'm really glad to find out the history of that phrase, and that, like, it evolved over time, and that that was not originally what it meant. And it puts this idea that 12-year-old me had in my head into very succinct terms. But I think it is really important that we choose our family, and that we choose the people that we want to share our life experiences with. And that can include members that you are related to by blood. And it should, sometimes, if the people who are related to you by blood support you and love you the way that you need to be loved, and take care of you and are there for you when you need it. But saying that all of that comes with a blood relationship is not accurate. There are plenty of friends who will be there for you in times when your family isn't. And there are plenty of people who grow up in very unique family situations who have to pick their family, because maybe the family they were born into sucks. Maybe there was something way more complicated and not pleasant about their life that forced them to get out. And so I think that that was something that was really important for me to learn, because now, if you were to ask me where I wanted to be at Christmas, or where I considered, like, my family reunion, it really doesn't include that many people from my biological family. The people that I choose for my family are the people that I call sisters and brothers and parents, are the friends that I grew up with Harry Potter. We formed this little ragtag family of people who didn't quite fit in, and when we are in public together, people do mistake us for biological siblings, or sometimes significant others. I don't know where the second one comes from. But yeah, so that's some of my thought. And that's not to say that I have completely disavowed my family, the one I was born into, that is, because I haven't. I'm still pretty close with some of my family members and not so close with some of the other ones. And I think that if I could go back and tell 12-year-old me to tone it down a notch and speak more eloquently and acknowledge that while blood relations are important and they can get you started, friend relations are important too and can become part of your family, that would be a better way for 12-year-old me to have handled that argument with my mom. Um, and yeah, so those are my thoughts on family and the family that you choose. And I think that that's really important because I do choose members of my biological family, but I also choose members who would otherwise be considered friends. And that's a really important part of who I am. DFTBA, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.